Hey everybody, welcome to Sci-Fi Punks. Today I am on a little hike on the west coast of Vancouver Island, and it's just a breezy 4-day hike or 3-day hike depending how fast you are along the coast, and I just kind of thought I'd hack out one of these videos while I'm doing this. Yeah, and so the setting, it's very foresty, very beautiful. Kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park. So I kind of think that's what I'm going to cover today is the Jurassic Park movies. And I just touch on all of them. So the first Jurassic Park movie, okay, well, released in 1993, directed by Steven Spielberg. There's not really anything to be said about this film that has not already been said. It is probably one of the greatest movies ever made. I was a little too young for theaters, so I saw it on VHS after that came out, early 90s, probably about 7 years old or something. Great time to be into a dinosaur movie. And yeah, I love this movie. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was super scary. Yeah, it was really great. Great story, great characters, great special effects. I kind of think that the CGI actually holds up better in some places than some of the stuff you see in today's films. I'll also say that this film is better than the book by Michael Crichton. I read that probably in my early 20s, and yeah, I thought it was good. It's a cool book. It is really well done, but the movie just does it better. I kind of thought the movie did a way better job in capturing the majesty and the awe of the fact that dinosaurs are back now. I kind of think the movie just tells the story of Jurassic Park in a more concise and just a sharper way. So yeah, I will say that this is one of those times where I think that the movie's better than the book. Hot take, I know. And here's another hot take. The theme of the movie and the book is basically if science is left unchecked, then bad things happen. Yeah, I mean, I understand it's a cool theme. It really works for a movie, but I'll just say this. If we had the ability to clone dinosaurs, I say let's fucking do it. When it comes to these scientific debates, I'm always on the side of what is the most awesome. When it comes to space exploration, building robots, cloning dinosaurs, whatever is the most awesome, I'm on that side. And dinosaurs are awesome, so I say let's fucking clone the dinosaurs. And also, if we really did manage to clone a T-Rex, I really don't think it would just escape and eat everybody. Whenever you hear scientists that come out and say, hey, we've made some strides in cloning technology, and one day we might actually be able to do something like cloning dinosaurs. But then everyone's all like, oh no, haven't you seen Jurassic Park? That's a bad idea. Let's not do that. Are you crazy? And to which I will respond with, you guys are being fucking idiots, okay? Jurassic Park is a Hollywood movie. I really think that if we actually had the ability to clone a T-Rex, it wouldn't escape and kill everybody. It's not like dinosaurs were Lovecraftian cosmic beings that were indestructible. No, they were just dumb animals that lived a long time ago and had to obey the same laws of physics that we do. So yeah, if we cloned raptors and T-Rexes, I'm pretty sure we'd be able to contain them just fine. It would not be like in the movie Jurassic Park. Besides, if we really did clone a T-Rex and it did kill a few people, I mean, oh well. I say that's a price worth paying to get a fucking T-Rex. So yeah, let's go ahead, scientists. You have my permission anyways to clone dinosaurs, even though it's probably never gonna happen. But anyways, the first Jurassic Park film, honestly, I think it's one of the greatest movies ever. I love this movie. It's not just nostalgia goggles. I think the movie really does hold up really well. I think Spielberg knocked it out of the park with basically everything about this movie. So moving on to The Lost World, the second one. Saw this, it was in 1997, I believe, also directed by Steven Spielberg, and I actually saw this in the theaters, and I fucking loved it. If I had any criticism about the first movie, at least when I was a kid, it was that there wasn't quite enough dino action. There was lots, but not enough, and The Lost World has it in spades. It surprised me when I got older, and I found out that The Lost World was actually considered kind of a bad movie. It actually blew my mind. I thought it was considered to be almost as good as the first one. Now, I'll admit, there are some criticisms with The Lost World that the dumb 9-year-old me didn't quite pick up on, and namely the kind of plot contrivances throughout the film, because the movie does really have that sheen of Spielberg quality on it, but some of the writing is, I think, where the movie falls flat. Namely, the whole reason for why Jeff Goldblum's character returns to the island to go have some more dinosaur fun. He's obviously traumatized in the first movie. He's obviously not a fan of the dinosaurs in the first place, so why the fuck did they go back? Did he go back to the island? It felt very much like the writers got Jeff Goldblum to sign on for a sequel before they had it written. And they're like, well, let's figure out the whole reasons for why he would come back afterwards. And so the best they could come up with was, oh, he's going to go rescue his girlfriend who also randomly has a love of dinosaurs and went to the island. So it's pretty dumb. I think it would have actually worse if the whole cast returned from the first movie. They only got Jeff Goldblum to come back for this one, but it would have actually been probably more stupid if they all came back. What sort of excuse could the writers have come up with to get all three of them to return back to the island? It would be really hard for me to believe that they'd go back to the island to do something important because, I don't know, these weren't heroes. They were just a bunch of people that got mixed up in some bullshit. So I don't think that would have worked very well. So in a way, it's almost better that only Jeff Goldblum returned for this one. The Lost World drops the bomb that apparently there's actually a different island where they clone the dinosaurs. And in the first movie, the island that you see is just where they show the dinosaurs on display. This is ridiculous because it totally would have been mentioned in the first movie when they were explaining everything. This is totally random and just kind of weird and unsatisfying because you're kind of like, okay, so what did happen to the first island? Anyways. And then the third big criticism this film gets is one that I do not share at all. And that is the kaiju attack on San Diego at the end of the movie when the T-Rex goes rampaging through the city. People think this is stupid. I totally disagree. I think this is the best part of the movie. I love this part, and not ironically. I honestly think that this is what needed to happen. You have a story about a company that clones dinosaurs because of their hubris, and then that goes wrong, and then you answer the next question of, well, now what would happen if one of those creatures got back to a populated area like a city? Kind of puts a neat little bow on the whole plot of the first two movies, it needed to happen. You needed to eventually show what would happen, the full-on repercussions of what InGen was doing by cloning dinosaurs, and this is it. You get a T-Rex rampaging through the city streets. Of course, there's also the infamous scene where Jeff Goldblum's daughter does like a gymnastics backflip and kicks a raptor into some spikes. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. There's no getting around that. It's weird. It doesn't even feel like a Steven Spielberg sort of choice. Like, it feels like Zack Snyder came into the studio for a day and like took over for a while, and then Spielberg didn't realize till he went and saw the movie later. But anyways, it's weird. It's in the movie. Yeah, it's stupid. So yeah, the movie has got more pockmarks than the first film for sure. But I still think The Lost World is really good and a worthy sequel to Jurassic Park. Now we're getting into the dregs here. Jurassic Park 3. So I saw Jurassic Park 3. I think I waited till VHS for this one. I was a teenager, and yeah, I was definitely smart enough by that point to realize that this was far lesser of a movie than the other two. And it definitely doesn't even feel like they were trying. Like, it doesn't even have any of that sort of, I don't know, majestic kind of quality to it, that shine, that Spielberg shine, because it's not Spielberg that directed it. This is basically just going for a straight-up B-mover horror sort of thing. Jurassic Park 3 automatically gets a passing grade from me for one reason all movies get, is if they are not boring. And it is definitely not boring. It's bad, though, in all these other ways. Like, the special effects are somehow worse. The characters are all unlikable and shitty, including Alan Grant, who returns for this one, Sam Neill. The plot is non-existent. I think this is one of the first times I realized that a movie like this didn't even have a plot. Like, I remember watching it and being like, so the story is just these characters are going to the island to rescue a kid and that's it? Like, there's nothing going on with the cloning, like InGen, the company that clones dinosaurs. There's nothing going on behind the scenes. No, they're just going to rescue a kid. And there's a big dinosaur, a new one called the Spinosaurus. Jurassic Park 3, it commits the great sin of using their new super dinosaur, the Spinosaurus, to kill the Tyrannosaurus Rex in a big old fisticuffs. And what kid was watching that and wasn't rooting for the T-Rex to win? I know I wanted the T-Rex to win because, we grew up with the T-Rex. And then the movie's just like, no, fuck you. Your old dinosaur's stupid. Here's this new one. And then it snaps its neck like with like assassin precision. It's pretty ridiculous. The tone's totally off. That's what really kills the film for me, is that it's just a totally different tone. It doesn't feel like a true sequel. It doesn't feel like a true third Jurassic Park film in the Jurassic Park trilogy at the time. But, you know, I'm not going to say that I hate Jurassic Park 3. I just don't think it's a worthy sequel. But I think it's a fun time, and I'll put it on every now and again. You get pterodactyls, so that's cool. Anyways, I'm going to move on. Jurassic World. So, you had a long wait between movies, and they decided to kind of quote-unquote reboot the franchise, but not really. And then you get Jurassic World. I believe this is 2014 when it came out. I can't remember who fucking directs this movie. It's gonna come to me later, but anyways. I'm obviously, I don't have access to the internet right now, so. I saw this movie in theaters. I kind of liked it the first time I saw it, and then I quickly realized on subsequent watchings that it's actually really bad, and I hate it. Well, okay, I don't hate it, but I don't think it's very good at all. This is where the cynicism really starts to show in the franchise. It becomes very obvious that these films are now just being churned out to make a ton of money. I know that was always the case, but there's definitely a vision with at least the first movie. But now all of that's gone. This is just a machine that's pumping out more and more content for us. This is kind of the beginning of all of that, you know? The kind of Disneyfication of media. Disney didn't make these movies, but it sure feels like they did. The characters are terrible. Chris Pratt sucks. He's the most Mary Sue character in all of film. He's just perfect at everything, right about everything. He's lame. And all the other characters are forgettable and annoying. There's something about special effects that started happening in the 2010s, especially in really big budget movies, where the CG just has this like really cartoony sheen to it. Like, I don't know, like things look less real in more modern film because there's like no grit on anything. It's like, it looks too real or something. I don't know, but yeah, none of the dinos look real to me in this movie. And the plot is just whatever. Like, okay, so they decided that they've got Jurassic Park up and running, and people are going and it's working out, but I guess people are getting bored, so they decide to clone a super dinosaur called the Indominus Rex. It's uninspired. The monster doesn't even look that cool. It's just like a big raptor, and it can turn invisible. Whoa, how cool is that? Wow, never had that before. Yeah, the movie just feels really by the numbers. It came out kind of before we caught on to this sort of thing, because we all loved this movie when it came out. Eventually, though, the kind of formula for this style of movie became very transparent, and we're all starting to reject it now. Because after that, they released the sequel to this, Fallen Kingdom, and I saw this in the theater once, thought it was bad then, haven't seen it since, and everyone hates this movie. I've never heard anyone say anything good about this movie, so I guess I'll just leave it at that. Jurassic World Dominion, you know what? I have not seen it. I mean, I'm encouraged because the cast from the original film all returned, and I'm a sucker for nostalgia bait, if it's written well, but from what I've heard, it sounds like nobody likes this movie either. It kind of surprises me because everything I've seen from it looks pretty cool. I definitely want to check it out one day, but it really says something that the movie was kind of widely panned, and they still got the cast to return. It means that people really are catching on to this kind of new cynical approach that Hollywood's been taking for movies. And you know, I guess that's an encouraging development. I recently heard they actually are planning on making another Jurassic Park movie, a Jurassic World movie. That sincerely surprises me. I really did think that they'd actually give up at this point, but I guess not. Anyways, the franchise as a whole, mostly bad, but that's not its own fault. I mean, every franchise nowadays is mostly bad. There's just been so much time for them to make so many bad sequels that almost everything is mostly bad content now. But when it comes to the original two of the greatest movies, I think, in the pantheon of sci-fi film. Anyways, that's my opinion on the Jurassic Park franchise. I'm gonna finish this hike. I'm almost done. It's been 3 days. And I'm gonna go have a Diet Coke and an Egg McMuffin. All hail Megatron.